Hey, what's happening out there, YouTube family? This is Robert L. Jones Jr. coming at you again with some more Tribal Judah poetry. All right. So, as always, I have a couple of pieces that I want to share with you, and this is one of them for the evening. The first poem of the evening is entitled Black Diamond. A most sovereign deity of third heaven enthroned in divinity, done radically endued my ever-generating propensity for kingly chic notoriety, with that charisma surging electricity of bravely liberating durability, and with an enormous sum of them stone incomparable rays of sundry inspiration from a highly aerial lineage of my greatly ancestral forerunners, I would be so supremely upright and readily inexhaustible within my happily enduring stance of immutably strengthened resolution, as I amazingly stand therefore like the profoundly paramount epitome of a Nuba rugged patriot, who be so massively statuesque in that victoriously sustaining posture of mightily indivisible tenacity, and I be worthily surviving and proficiently steadfast within my elaborate stature of thriving overflow, while I also be fervently exemplar in that black star-spangled demeanor of confidently placing an emotionally tightened fist over my Kawamba-thumping hearts, and haughtily pledge some Amanla rapping allegiance to the revolution, and to the equally human republic for which it beautifully represents. So without the overwhelmingly timid apprehension of fearfully shaky hesitation, this Madiba enlivened son of Afro-Indigenous origin can most assuredly be in that dynamite culture of wresting a perfectly sharpened needle into that cipher-spinning groove of some sable-adorning triumph, as I transfigure out my uniquely colossal awareness of phenomenally evolving selfhood into that tremendous spectacle of a living word dispersing oracle of truthfully revealing experience, that be so capaciously fluent in them downtown colloquial maxims of some shown-up heavy-hitting vernacular, which be correctly attested to my bonanza-grabbing essence of versatile identity as a cosmos-conquering cat daddy with just enough of that boldly solidifying fortitude in ultimately overcoming all of them treacherous strongholds and crazily mammoth obstacles of cruel and incorrigible resistance, and in the duly notable threshold of an anxiously anticipated outcome, I would solemnly swear up a specially sacred oath unto my own copious definition of proudly befitting courage, to powerfully win that dramatically prevailing opportunity of freely allowing both of my righteously enamored hands to pitch an extravagantly panoramic banner of some undeniably signifying conquest and wildly flagging destiny. And I would just let it soulfully trip the life fantastic within its blissfully dancing jig amongst them gently clean and sweetly effervescent breezes of some positively easygoing loftiness in a magically aerodynamic atmosphere of rapturous blue. So in them extremely funky tactics of organically impressive rhythm, I would be strutting on unbelievably strong and brightly debonair inside of my youthfully spontaneous patterns of rebel marching finesse, as my ground discovering travelers of orthopedic mastery be mountain stepping to the motherland melodic beat of a djembe drummer. And I suddenly be getting that richly stimulating adrenaline of Papa Shaka, so that I may be so resplendent within my militant dexterity to furiously invade them chaotically rocky hilltops of Caucasus infamy. And I shall very necessarily take back into my zealous to death possession that newly retrieved and graciously esteemed and bounty of some ancient dignity invoking diplomacy in successfully glowing transcendence. And from this widely expanded dimension of virtuous joy, I surely be celebrating hardcore in that house party and vibe of keenly observing my superbly grandiose behavior in puissant ascents. And I be abundantly established well within my significantly boss disposition to become strictly cavalier with my unquenchable desire for living stupendously large as a clever professor and B.I.G. like notorious, through my easily laborious chorus of harmonious unity with that body-provoking movement of openly expressing the illustrious standard of my innately venerating existence as an abnormally exalted deviation from that bamboozling mean of shuffling shamefulness, and with a self-appreciating toke of some substantially baroque gumption, I shall be excitably vigilant within that inner approving reward of permanently chilling inside of my absolutely outstanding median of some world-class style and recompense, where I have wisely chosen to just mentally emancipate from the morally chagrined mysticisms of character-killing reproach and guilt-riddled disgrace, and thereby in the patiently ticking process of prolific time, I would definitely be in the genuinely opulent scene of vitally radiating my attractively resonating accents of stunningly sterling shimmer, as an exquisitely shining stone of finely polished ebony amongst the universally connected treasure of beautifully pristine diamonds in black, as they too be ornately showing forth their originally glistening sparkle of Africa ornamenting pricelessness. The second poem of the evening is entitled Bomani, which means warrior. Enough is surely enough of those wickedly storming tempests and wildly contentious gusts of blustery chaos, as they for the longest time have been angrily blowing and violently bum rushing at my peacefully discreet island of quietly sacred refuge, and with the crazily hostile threat of some madly vicious disdain, they hurry on through so tumultuously with a mightily thrashing agenda to wholly uproot and to demolish into utter oblivion my uprightly postured dimension of highly defining selfness, as I still be strongly managing to remain proudly steadfast like the monumental posterior of Egyptian pyramids in that humanely sustaining ease of uniquely being the optimistic embodiment of peace. Be still. So there would positively be no evident question wasting up precious space within my wary psychology of deeply mindful integrity, as I, with that tenaciously esoteric pondering of some calamity resolving insights, persist on bombastically with the discernibly concerted assertion that I have simply gotten just about enough of them wretchedly scattered flurries of falsely impending disaster and ruin, which be in the stupidly presuming attitude of vainly predicating their raunchy raucous of trash-talking pessimism, just so that they could consciously bulldoze my ever-battling cipher of keen sensibility with those mentally tender entrapments of encapturing intimidation and childlike fear. But I abundantly possess that indigenous inheritance of some naturally conquering esteem, which has been so blessedly dispensed into my crimson riverbanks of hotly circulating life from the regally endemic veins and arteries of anciently powerful kings and queens of yester-millennial fame and rulership. And within the modernistic era of suburban luxuriant soulfulness, I am justly expressing my radically professing extensions of fitfully uprising combat, wherewith the ceaseless fighter in me be boldly hip to the inconsolable impulse to just keep on scuffling and a-tussling throughout the negritude hours and nigressant minutes of sorely encompassing nightfall. And these quickly swinging fists of fireball in defense will be swiftly landing them heavy hitting blows of jawbone busting destruction upon the bruised up face and blackened eyes of minority oppressing pain and suffering. And this Ali-inspired overcomer of Congo alarming awe and fierceness will be getting so courageously together with that fanatically enduring virtue of knocking out and punching into absolute defeat those stone evil contenders of outrageously atrocious harm and brutish maltreatment. And in the championing spirit of Boombaye, I shall hear the supremely elating cheer of hip hip hooray as a dynastic right-hand lead will suddenly kill the perversely persevering evilness of that wildly antagonistic loser from the abyss, as he will immediately fall hard and would humbly succumb to the unfavorable descent of laying cold and lifeless upon an off-white canvas floor of abhorrent desolation. And with the greatly manifested stance of a heroic soldier after he returns on home with the opulent spoils of ever-prevailing conquest, I will certainly be having more than enough of them heart-aching situations and those problematic antics of psyche crucifying agony, to the point where I may encourage myself to lift up a victoriously upraised arm to the observant heavens as a beneficial witness to the prestigious testament of how this here righteously defiant boxer done fought long and extremely struggled for that divinely prized and recompense of some richly rewarded honor, respect, and brightly magnifying regard. As a truly phenomenal male with all of the perpetual potential in dominating and ascending above all of the many effectual woes and agonizing sorrows of this utterly flawed and short-fallen environment. And now is that amazingly celebrating occasion to step right on up and to boldly take back my heavyweight belt of relentless triumph like an undisputed vanquisher, standing so vividly super bad and charismatic before the worldly masses of both enduring supporters and cynical critics. And finally, my protagonistic image of vindicated grittiness will fearlessly leave the rope-a-doping confines of a bloody boxing ring. And with exceeding gladness, I will continue inside of that show enough irrefutable groove of being a newly successful master of my happily favored future until the eternally cordial portals of a celestial exodus call me on home. Thank you so much for listening to these two poems of the evening. I hope you like what you heard. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I really would like to get some feedback out there, and I encourage all poets, all writers, keep doing what you're doing, keep writing, keep expressing yourselves, keep on being creative. And I'll come back at you with another video with some more Tribal Judah poetry. In the meantime, I bid you shalom.